What up, y'all? Conscious One coming at you. So, I don't want to do y'all like that. I don't want to be too mean to y'all, and not come on here and say nothing about nothing. Hold on for a minute, y'all. It's just that we don't have nothing good to say. You just don't say nothing at all. But I found something today that I wanted to bring up. I was in a store, and being an empath, you already know you can feel everything that people going through around you. This is why I don't really like being around a lot of people. I just like being to myself. But as I was checking out, uh, it was this couple that had pulled up, and the husband, I don't know what he was doing, but he was kind of like fumbling along, and his wife said something to him to the aspect of, when we were walking over there, you were dropping this, like she was telling him something that he was doing that obviously he either wasn't paying attention to, and she was looking at him like, what, basically, what the fuck are you doing? You with your spouse and stuff like this. I mean, I guess there's only so much you can say. I mean, after all, it's your spouse. You don't want to be mean and stuff like that. But you could tell she was irritated, and she was like, "Are you okay?" But what she really wanted to say was like, "Are you fucking like stupid? Like, why did you do it?" It was just, guys, that shit hit me like a jackhammer, man. Like, it was just like I felt the tension. And it's not the first time I feel the tension between couples. See, if I'm in a relationship, man, I already told y'all, a lot of people, they got into relationships because they just settled. And then they found, because they were afraid to be alone, they end up just settling with somebody who they end up babysitting. And that's got to be the worst fucking feeling in the world, to be with somebody and find yourself babysitting. That's one of the things that concerns me about being in a relationship, especially being married, is that, like, okay, like, even Joseph Chaperone said that oftentimes, not all of them, but oftentimes when you're in a relationship, one person is a demon. I mean, I hate to bring this stuff up. Maybe I'll have to do another Joseph Chaperone narration soon. I really hate to bring this kind of esoteric stuff up to you guys, but it's actually is only going to benefit me in my own personal situation, that whoever I deal with on a social level, whether it be friend, spouse, or coworker, whoever, they know that I'm not going to tolerate any mess, and they're not going to get any mess from me either. I'm not looking for somebody I can babysit, and I'm not looking for a babysitter to babysit me. I like my own time. I like to be to myself. Just because I show you love doesn't, like, don't get all freaked out, thinking that all this pressure is on you now because I'm showing you love. Because I like to be like disengaged from a lot of things. I like to be to myself, but I try to keep it balanced. That's why, people are always trying to keep me twisted when I'm talking on YouTube. But I'm a very balanced individual. So it's like people just start talking because they got a mouth when it comes to me, because I'm a very balanced individual. I'll show you love, but then I can take it away too, because people are very unhinged these days. And maybe I'll talk about that later. People are just very unhinged, man. And it didn't used to be this bad where you feel like you can't even say nothing to nobody anymore. That's why everybody's talking on YouTube. People feel like, damn, you can't talk to people no more. And most people cannot even talk to their own spouse. That's messed up, y'all. I was listening to a guy's video. He was talking about, how people are really alone, and they're allowing their minds to be taken over by AI. It's a very dangerous situation that we in, guys, right now, with people and social media. Everybody wants to be a chief instead of being an Indian first, right? Everybody wants to talk on social media and be seen and get the yapping because everybody got, they just talking because they got a mouth. People are carrying out their insecurities through social media. That's why it's good that I get off YouTube every now and then just to take a break from it and then come back when I really have something to talk about, because character like me, people love to misunderstand me on purpose. They love to project. So, but when I really feel it in my spirit to come on YouTube and say something, I'll say something. And it usually has to do with just the way that I observe things. Guys, I'm very observative on people, places, and things. And just what I see is just so unsettling. It's a good thing that I enjoy my own company, because if I didn't, I would be very, like, man, I'll be messed up, and I'll be out here trying to, get friends and all that type of stuff. But people too unhinged for me. I enjoy my own space. You got to find a place in your mind of balance, man. People are not balanced, man. People are not balanced. People get scared when you love them too much. Then when you take your love away, then they like, what's wrong with you? I mean, people, you got to find a balance. You see, it's got to be and this comes to in relationships. It's very important to me that whoever my spouse ends up being is very balanced individual. It has to be balanced. We cannot. Nobody. It's too much stuff. Nobody has time to be babysitting people. Okay. Then people are having a lot of problems with control. Everybody wants to control something. People want to control. All billions of people, like everybody wants to take control of something. That's what I'm working on right now, is just trying to just let shit go, man. Let shit be. But a lot of that have to do with me just letting go of people too, and just not dealing with people too much anymore. Because people are just too unhinged. People are not. They're not really stable within themselves, and stuff like that. But just getting back to that couple, I mean, I just felt the tension when she asked him that, like, are you? But that's not really what she felt. This guy was like overweight. You could tell that he was sick of her. She was sick of him, and basically being out in public with him was an embarrassment. Okay, but they're married, and they got to go home to each other, and they probably don't even like each other. Most people who are in relationships these days do not even like each other. They're just doing it to fulfill either financial obligations or social obligations. These two people do not even like each other. And I do not want to be in a relationship like that. I want us to be friends, and I want us to both be, independent and strong at the same time, and loving at the same time. It has to be a balance, People get really unhinged around me, guys. I see people getting, like if I pay attention to somebody, it's like, oh shit, like, and I'm not even about that. I'm like totally, chill and calm, and I mean what I say and stuff like that. And, but people just, I don't know. I just hope whoever I be with, man, I hope there's a balance. Because I'm a really chill dude. I think I'm a really cool dude. I've learned a lot of hard lessons the hard way. And now I'm just ready to just be at peace and do simple things and, play with the dog and go to the, go to the museum and stuff like that. I'm not trying to build up no goddamn, I'm not trying to be a social justice warrior. No, that's over. Once you leave a matrix, you realize that you cannot, even if what you're saying is true and you want to wake people up to something that you're talking about that can totally, make 100% sense. But that doesn't mean that you actually should be spending your energy and time. You got to, it's just like what it says in my gematria under my name. It says, leave this world behind. You got to leave the world behind and take that energy and focus it on you and your, your intermediate family, those your loved ones, the people who are under your roof and stuff like that. No more am I allowing my energy to go out here looking for, feedback and all. No, that's done. Those days for me are done. And once you become secure in yourself, you don't even want to do that shit no more anyway. But no, just getting back to that couple and go ahead and end this, guys. I mean, I just felt that tension, and most relationships are like that. Like loneliness. Once again, you could be lonely And the person, most people in America, the person that they sleeping in the bed with is the reason why they lonely. Okay? You could be married, sleeping in the same bed as your wife or your husband, and you lonely than a motherfucker. You more lonely than somebody who's allegedly lonely. You know what I mean? I don't never want my relationship with my wife to be like that. How do I picture my relationship? Just to end it, a lot of fun, a lot of fun, like literally like a lot of fun. Like my children, just a lot of fun. Not like Pee Wee's Playhouse, not that kind that much fun. I'm just saying like just fun, relaxed. Um, you have to have faith, you know, and you have to have trust, and most of all, you have to love yourself. So if I have a spouse, I just, you know, the home environment, you know, only can hope that it's just out. The way I imagine in my mind is just be a lot of fun. Like you don't want to be like that couple I saw in the store today. You want to be happy, you know, glad to go home to your wife. You don't want to be like carrying on conversations in public because you don't want to go home to you. I mean, man. And so, you know, some guys complain about, you know, they go home to their wife, feel like you're in a war. Don't want that neither. Don't want it to be a battlefield. I'd rather be alone. But yeah, that's how I picture my life being with a spouse, just like having a good time. And although things it's not always going to be good, but it's how can I describe how a good relationship would be? I think in order to have a good relationship, you have to love yourself, and you have to have self-respect, because if you have that, then you're going to treat your partner with the same thing. You only can love other people. You only can love your wife. You only can love your husband if you love yourself, because they're just the outwardly extension of yourself. That's all they is. That's why we hear those stories about that once upon a time we were all androgynous, and the only reason a man even wanted a woman in the first place is because he's trying to grab hold to the other half of himself. It really has nothing to do with the other person. You're trying to grab a hold of a love that you feel like belongs to you in a way. That's why you got people always trying to control people in relationships. And when I sense women like being like kind of controlling, like with me, that's like really a turnoff. Because that tells me that individual is not really secure within themselves if they're trying to control somebody else. You know what I mean? But again, you got to keep it balanced. I'm not saying that, you know, people are like that. I'm just saying you have to keep that shit balanced. It has to be to a point where you say, okay, am I talking to my spouse or am I talking to myself? You know, shit like that. So I didn't say it about enough, guys, but yeah, that cringy incident in the store with that couple, I said, God, please, 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 if I have a spouse, I hope we never end up like that, where she's sick of me and I'm sick of, and, you know, my wife being embarrassed of me in public. But when I looked at this guy, you know, he was overweight, looked like he was just, I mean, what do you expect with this American diet? Shit, most of these dudes sick. Most people not feeling good. You keep eating this goddamn shit, you ain't gonna feel good. Jeez, man. But anyway, it's good to talk to y'all. I'll let y'all later, all right? Peace.